Hello and welcome to this exploring session, and today we are looking at Apius and Virginia by R.B., who R.B. is open to contention. Written somewhere in the 1560s. Again, precise date is slightly difficult to do, but sometime probably in the reign of Queen Elizabeth, the early years. It is, broadly speaking, based on Chaucer, on the Physician's Tale. And so it's going to be a matter, if you know your Chaucer, that you may be fascinated to look at this as a piece of adaptation or just as a piece of entertainment in its own right. Today we are mostly going to be doing just the reading of the text with only a little bit of commentary as we go along. We're doing a certain amount of extreme doubling, but I'm hoping it's all going to be fine in the end. So with this fabulous team we have today, we have reading Claudius and Justice is...
Helen Good. I'm a historian in Yorkshire.
Reading the various parts of Mater, Mansipula, Apius, and Apius, and Reward is...
Hello, I'm Sascha Cooper, and I'm a professional actress and all-round performer in Brighton.
Reading the part of Virginia, Subservus, Conscience, Fame, and the Epilogue is...
Hi, I'm Tamara. I'm an actor usually based in London, currently in Germany, and there's a thunderstorm, so if I disappear, that's why.
Also reading the other end, reading the prologue, Haphazard, Rumour, Comfort, and Doctrina is...
Hi, I'm Alan Scott, based in Suffolk, never been a professional actor.
And reading Virginius, Mansipulus, Mansipulus, there we are. Oh, for goodness sake. And memory is...
Hi, I'm Greg and I'm based in Berkshire, and I've never been an actor either.
And I am your host, Robert Crighton. I am going to be reading any bit of song, a lyric, which is supposed to be sung by the entire company, because trying to sing in unison is hard enough when nobody here knows the tune, and also when you're trying to use Zoom. So we won't be doing any singing today. We're also not going to do the very opening lines of Apius and Virginia, because it's a prologue sequence that's in Latin, which is then repeated essentially in English, and in considerably better English than the Latin appears to be, and life's too short. So without further ado, over to Alan to do the prologue.
Who doth desire the trump of fame to sound unto the skies, or else who seeks the holy place where mighty Jove he lies? He must not by deceitful mind, nor yet by puissant strength, but by the faith and sacred life he must win at length. And what she be that virgin's life on earth would gladly lead, the floods that Virginia did fall, I wish her to read. A dolor and a doleful loss, and yet her joys at death. Come, virgins pure, to grave with me, quoth she with latest breath. You lordlings, all at present be this tragedy to hear, note well what zeal and love herein doth well appear. And ladies, you that linked are in wedlock bands forever, do imitate the life you see, whose fame will perish never. But virgins you, O ladies fair, for honour of your name, to lead the life apparent here, to win immortal fame. Let not the blinded god of love, as poets term him so, nor Venus with a venery, nor lecher's cause of woe, your virgin's name to spot or file. Dear dames, observe the life that fair Virginia did observe, who rather wished the knife of father's hand her life to end, than spot her chastity. As she did wail you her want, you maids of courtesy. If any by example here would shun that great annoy, our author would rejoice in heart, and we would leap for joy. But gods, that our endeavours may as well to please your ears, as is our author's meaning here, then were we void of fears. But patiently we wish you bear with this our first attempt, which surely will to do our best, then yield us no contempt. And as you please in patient wise, are first for to receive. Ere long a better shall you win, if God do grant us leave.
And with that, the prologue exits, having asked the audience to listen patiently, get to the end, and explain vaguely the sense of where the play is going. Enter, however, Virginius to show it to us.
Before the time that fortune's lot did show each fate his doom, or be it bird or beast or fish or fowl on earth had taken room, the gods they did decree to frame, the thing is ended now, the heavens and the planets eke, and moist from air to bough. Then framed they the man from mould and clay, and gave him time to reign, as seemed best their sacred minds to run and turn again. They framed also, after this, out of his tender side, a piece of much formosity with him for to abide, from infancy to lusty youth, and so to reign a while, and well to live, till a task he unawares to him beguile. Therewith to see these gifts of them on grounded cave to view, and daintily to deck them up, which after they may rue. Therefore I thank the gods above that yield to me such fate, to link to me so just a spouse, and eke so loving mate. By her I have a virgin pure, an imp of heavenly race, both sober, meek, and modest too, and virtuous in like case. To temple will I win, therefore, to yield the gods their praise, for that they have thus luckily annexed my days. But stay, behold the peerless sparks, whereof my tongue did talk, approach in presence of my sight. To church I deem they walk. But stay I will, and shroud me secretly a while, to see what wit or counsel grave proceedeth from their style.
And here entereth Mater and Virginia.
The pert and pricking prime of youth ought chastisement to have, but thou, dear daughter, needest not. Thyself doth show thee grave, to see how Phoebus with his beams hath youth so much infested. It doth me woe to see them crave the things should be detested. I draw to grave, and naught can leave of thee to be desired, as much as duty to thy dear, as reason hath required. My sovereign lord and friendly fear, Virginius, father thine, to nurse as doth become a child when bones are buried mine.
Refill your mind of mourning plaints, dear mother, rest your mind. For though that duty dainty were, Dame Nature will me bind, so much to do, and further force of gods that rule the skies, the globe, and eke the element, they would me else despise.
And if the gods have granted thee such grace to love thy sire, when time shall choose thee out a make, be constant, I require. Love, live, and like him well, before you grant him grace or faith. So shall your love continue long. Experience thus, he saith.
I grant, dear dame, I do agree, when time shall so provide. But tender youth and infancy doth rather wish me bide. What, should I lose Diana's gift, and eke the spring to shun, by which Actaeon fatally his final race did run? Should I, as abject, be esteemed throughout Parnassus hill, or should my virgin's name be filed? It were too great a skill. But yet it is unspotted. Lo, right well I do conceive, when wedlock doth require the same, with parents' love and leave, yet obstinate I will not be, but willing will me yield when you command, and not before, then duty shall me shield.
Ah, gods that rule and reign in heavens, in seas, in floods, in lands, two couples such I surely deem you never made with hands. Ah, gods, why do ye not compel each dame the like to show, and every imp of her again her duty does to know? I cannot stay my tongue from talk, I needs must call my dear. Oh, spouse well met, and daughter too, what news? How do you cheer?
Oh, dear Virginius, joy to me. Oh, peerless spouse and mate, in health I pray the gods I am, and joyful for thy state.
Virginia, my daughter dear, how standeth all with thee?
Like happy state, as mother told.
Like joyful sights in me, by the god's wife, I joy me that have such a treasure, such a gem, and such a jewel surmounting all measure, such a happy spouse, such a fortunate dame, that no blot or stain can impair her fame, against such an imp and graff of my tree, as clear doth surmount all others that be.
Nay, rather, dear spouse, how much is thy case to be now advanced by such happy grace, doth daily distill my husband so loving, granting and giving to all thing behoving, joining in me and in the fruit of my womb. Wooed not requited, the gods yield their doom, and if it be I, the gods do destroy me, rather than sin so sure, so sore should annoy me.
O wife, refel thy wishing for woe, myself thy fault right well do know, and rather I wish myself to be slain, than thou or thy daughter aught woe should sustain.
O father, my comfort, O mother, my joy, O dear, and O sovereign, do cease to employ such dolorous talking where dangers are none. Where joys are attended, what needeth this moan? You matron, you spouse, you nurse, and you wife, you comfort, you only the sum of his life, you husband, you sweetheart, you joy, and you pleasure, you king, and you Kaiser too, her only treasure. You father, you mother, my life doth sustain. I your babe, I your bliss, I your health am again. Forbear then your dolour, let mirth be frequented, let sorrow depart, and not be attempted.
O wife, O spouse, I am content.
O husband,
O father, we do consent.
And here they sing, and all of them sing, the trustiest treasure in earth as we see is man, wife, and children in one to agree. Then friendly and kindly let measure be mixed, with reason in season where friendship is fixed.
When nature nursed first of all young Alexander learned, of whom the poets mention make in judgment so discerned. O what did want that love procured his vital end well near? This is the hope where parents love their children, do not fear.
And they all sing the chorus again, but we won't do it, move on.
what time King Nissus would not let his daughter to be taught, of any one correcting hand to virtue to be brought? She, void of duty, cuts his locks and golden tresses dear, whereby his realm was overrun, and she was paid her hire.
And they all sing the chorus again. But I'm not going to. Move on.
Yeah, not going to. When Daedalus from Crete did fly, with Icarus his joy, he, naught regarding father's words, did seek his own annoy. He mounted up into the skies, whereat the gods did frown, and Phoebus saw his wings did fry, and headlong flings him down.
And they all sing the chorus again, and Virginius picks it up.
Then sith that partiality doth partly discord move, and hatred oftentimes doth creep where overmuch we love. And if we love no wit at all, the faming trump will sound. Come wife, come spouse, come daughter, let measure hear the ground.
And they all sing the chorus again and exit singing happy, and we'll briefly pause. There.
Happy.
Oh dear, yes.
I'm assuming that they are all getting that they're singing in between the choruses, but they might not be. It's not actually properly noted in the manuscript as far as they can sing. So it might be that that's vamped over, spoken over some background rather than necessarily actively sung. I'm not sure. I've only noticed a few very minor textual differences across. As we've gone, there's a few different word choices that I've got in the edition I have in front of me. So there might be some textual variations. They don't seem to be wrong. They just seem to be alternatives. So that's one to look into in the future. Thoughts about this sort of opening sequence beyond the fact, oh, good, it's 14ers again. Second time this week.
Yay! This is going to end well.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. This is spot the stiff again. No, it's just far too happy. Sorry.
It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. Robert, what's oitas or otas? I met the word and then I was like, I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say.
I can look that up while somebody talks about what is going on with this family dynamic. Give me, what's the backstory? What's going on here? Explain it to the listeners at home.
It all seems a bit too lovey-dovey to be true.
The dad's starstruck.
They're all like, we love each other and we all agree on everything.
And we've
Just
all,
like that.
we've all got knives. We've all got knives with spring-loaded handles.
And Virginia doesn't, and this particular Virginia doesn't seem to be taking it seriously.
No.
You had quite a bit of difficulty in taking it seriously.
It's really hard. It's Stepford wives is what it is.
Yeah. It is a kind of bit like that, but at the same time, you know, I know what you mean. There's an element of, I know we need to be taking this seriously, but at the same time, it's like, hang on a minute, we're going to go into a song now.
It's really hard from a modern perspective. I think that's all it is. I was trying. I'm sorry, Helen. I was trying to rein it in so much, but I couldn't. From a modern perspective, it's just like.
It is the problem, and it's more of a problem than we had with Cambyses with the verse, because in a sense, with the way the 14s were used in Cambyses was for much more solemn occasions. With this, where it's a bit jolly, and then it gets sing-songy, and then it feels very Blue Peter. And so I think and you know, we are here to try and figure out what are the barriers as well as the pluses. What are the things we need to look at and deal with in future performance? Of, you know, there is a bit of a disconnect there.
I think if you workshop it, I'm sure you can get over it. I think if you let the actors do this first and then get into the psychology of it, you will get past it. But you have to deal with the fact that this is going to be the initial thing.
Yeah.
I just wonder whether you could actually do it playing Virginia as a stroppy teenager.
No. Well,
that was very impressive.
You know what? I agree with that, actually, because even as I was reading Mater, you know, she's talking about the husbandry for her daughter. She's talking about the seriousness of the whole thing, but she's also saying to her daughter, come on, enjoy this, enjoy life as well. You know, the more you give out the positivity, the more you will enjoy it. It's like she's trying to, it's almost like she's trying to persuade her that it's actually okay. You can have what we have. Yeah, so, which kind of falls again into the Stepford Wives element. But I think if Virginia was a stroppy teenager, it would help, you know, myself or whoever's playing Mater to kind of go, oh, yeah, excuse me, my girl, what's going on here? You know?
Yeah. Just to bring you back to Virginius, the etas, that's the personification of time. So time he unawares do him beguile. So, you know, just for clarification on that.
as in eternal.
Yes.
Then.
So Kronos would be a synonym, possibly.
Yeah, so some form of a personification of time it has. Okay, other thoughts before we move on, because everybody exits, and we're having the Vice coming on. The Vice is always good for a laugh, isn't it?
Haphazard.
Okay, in that case, let us go forth with Enter Haphazard the Vice.
Very well, sir, very well, sir. It shall be done. As fast as ever I can prepare. Who dips with the devil, he had need have a long spoon, or else full small will be his fare. Yet a proper gentleman I am of truth. Yea, you may see that by my long side gown. Yea, but what am I? A scholar, or a schoolmaster, or else some youth? A lawyer, a student, or else a country clown? A broom man, a basket maker, or a baker of pies? A flesh or a fishmonger, or a sower of lies? A louse or a louser, a leek or a lark? A dreamer, a drumble, a fire or a spark? A caitiff, a cutthroat, a creeper in corners, a harebrain, a hangman, or grafter of Homer's. the gods, I know not how to best to devise my name or my property well to disguise. A merchant, a maypole, a man or a mackerel, a crab or a crevice, a crane or a cockerel. Most of all these my nature doth enjoy. Some time I advance them, some time I destroy. A maid or a mussel boat, a wife or a wild duck, as bold as blind Bayard, as wise as a woodcock, as fine as fivepence, as proud as a peacock, as stout as a stockfish, as meek as a meacock, as big as a beggar, as fat as a fool, as true as a tinker, as rich as an owl, with hay-trick, hull-troll, trade-trip, and trade-trace, troll-hazard with a vengeance, I beshrew his knave's face. Trow and troll-hazard keep such a range, that poor Haphazard was never so strange. But yet, Haphazard, be of good cheer, go pay and repast thee, man, be merry to year, though victual be dainty and hard to get, yet perhaps a number will die of the sweat. But being hazard, yet happily I may, though money be lacking, yet one day go gay.
Enter Mansipulus and Mansipula.
When Maud with a pestilence, what makest thou no haste? A Barbary incense be like thou wouldst taste. By the gods, I have stayed a full great while. My lord, he is near at hand by this at the church stile. And all for Maud Mumble-turd, that man podding Madge. By the gods, if she I not, I'll give her my badge.
What, Drake-nosed drivel, begin you to flout? I'll fry you in a faggot stick, by cock, goodman lout! You boaster, you bragger, you brawling knave! I'll pay thee by 40 pence, thou brawling slave! My lady's great business belike is at end, when you, goodman doorcock, lust for to wend, you cod's head, you crack rope, you chattering pie, have with ye, haven't ye, your manhood to try?
And the stage direction says beat and hustling, which I suspect has been happening for the last few lines.
Oh yes.
What? Hold your hands, masters? What? Fie for shame, fie! What culling, what lulling, what stir have we here? What tugging, what lugging, what pugging by the ear? What part and be friends, and end all this strife?
Nay, rather I wish at the end of my knife.
Draw it, give me it, I will it receive. So flat for to place it I might have good leave. By the gods, but for losing my land, life and living it should be so placed he should have ill thriving.
By the gods, how ungraciously the vixen she chatteth.
And he even as knavishly my answer be patteth.
Here is naught else but railing of words out of reason, now tugging, now tattling, now muzzling in season. For shame! Be contented, and leave off this brawling.
Content, for I shall repent it for this my tongue rolling.
Oh, thou knife! But for thee, ere this time of day, my lady's fair pew had been strawed full gay, with primroses, cowslips, and violets sweet, with mincer, with marigolds, and marjoram meat, which now lieth uncleanly, and all long of thee, that a shame recompense thee for hindering of me.
Ah, pretty pank Parnell, the cushion and book, whereon he should read and kneel, are present. Here, look. My lord, when he seeth me, he will cast such an eye as pinch for my heart, there ready to die. And thus wise his hand will be walking with thou, precious knave. Away, get thee packing.
Here, let him, and the suggestion is pretend to fight.
Nay then, by the mass, it's time to be knacking. No words at all, but to me he is pointing. Nay, haven't you again? You shall have your anointing.
Body of me, hold if you can. What, will you kill such a proper man?
Nay, sure I have done, when women do speak. Why would the knave my patience so break?
Well, I must be gone, there is no remedy. for fear my tale makes buttons by mine honesty.
For reverence on your face, your nose, and your chin. By the gods, have ye heard such an unmannerly villain?
Oh, I never heard one so rank a rudeness.
In faith, it is but for lack of lewdness. But ere I burn daylight, while thus I am talking. Away, come Mansipula, let us be walking.
Contented Manipulus, have with thee with speed.
Nay, stay yet, my friends. I am not agreed.
We dare not tarry, by God we swear.
Nay, tarry, take comfort with you for to bear. It is but in hazard, and if you be missed, and so it may happen you feel not his fist, perhaps he has stayed by talk with some friend. It is but in hazard. Then sing, ere you wend. Let hope be your helper, your care to defend.
By apple, by hazard, we sing ere we cry. Then sing, let us say so, let sorrow go by.
We can be but beaten, that is the worst.
And here enter Subservus.
What? How, Mansipulus, thou knave? Art thou cursed? My lord standeth talking, and I gape for thee. Come away with a wonion. Run, haste, and hie.
Nay, hearken, Subservus, stay, I pray thee. Let us have a song, and then have with thee.
Content if thou hie thee.
And they all start singing Hope so and Hap so in hazard of threatening. The worst that can hap low in end is but beating.
What if my lording do chance for to miss me? The worst that can happen is Cudgel will kiss me. It's such kind of sweetness, I swear by God's mother. It will please me better it were on some other.
And the chorus goes with thwick, thwack, with thump, thump, with bobbing and bum. Our side saddle's shoulders shall shield that doth come. Hope so and hap so in hazard of threatening. The worst that can hap low in end is but beating.
In case that my lady do threaten my case, no cause to contrary, but bear her a space, until she draw on. Lo, where so she will use me, as doctors don't doubt it, how should I excuse me?
Chorus continues once again with thwick, thwack, which we won't finish.
What, if your company cause me have woe, I mind not, companions, so soon to forego. Let hope hold the helmet till brunted be past, for blows are but buffets and words but a blast.
With thwick, thwack, etc.
Then let us be merry, it is but by hap. A hazardly chance may harbour a clap. Bestir ye, be merry, be glad and be joying. The blows are but buffets and small time annoying.
With thwick, thwack, with thump, thump, with bobbing and bum, our side saddle shoulders shall shield that doth come. Hope so and hap so in hazard of threatening. The worst that can hap low in end is but beating. At the end of the song, all says all at once.
Haphazard, farewell.
Farewell.
The gods
do
thank
thank
thee.
thee.
And they exit, leaving Haphazard alone.
Farewell, my friends, farewell, go prank ye. By the gods, Haphazard, these men have tried thee. We said thou wast no man, sure they belied thee. By Jove, master merchant, by sea or by land, get the small argent, if I did not stand. His very good master, I may say to you, when he hazards in hope what hap will ensue. In court I am no man, by coxer ye lie. A ploughman perhaps, or ere he that die, may hap be a gentleman, a courtier or captain, and hap may so hazard he may go begging. Perhaps that a gentleman, heir to great land, which selleth his living for money in hand, in hazard it is the buying of more. Perhaps he may ride, when spent is his store. Hap may so hazard, the moon may so change, that men may be masters, and wives will not range. But in hazard it is in many a grange, lest wives wear the codpiece, and maidens go strange. As peacocks sit perking by chance in the plum tree, so maids will be masters by the guise of this country. Haphazard each state full well that he marks. If hap the sky falls, we may hap to have larks. Oh, fare ye well now, for better or worse. Put hands to your pockets, and mind your purse.
And he exits, and we'll pause there. I mean, it's really helpful that we did Cambyses this week, isn't it? You know, I'm finding that they're very different plays, but they're also quite similar in a sense that we had opening play, everything's in 14ers, everyone's setting up the A plot, and then the haphazard, a vice figure comes in and is interrupted by some ruffians, some fighting happens, and then they exit. There's more songs, but the sort of overall structural similarity is really quite telling.
This one likes scenes, likes lists more though.
Yeah, and that's a real throwback. That's very, very sort of Hayward Skelton. You know, this is going way back 30 odd years, and the kind of wordplay that you would get in some earlier interludes. They really, and it's really someone who obviously they've got an actor who can do the work, that kind of list.
Yeah, it's almost like George Grossmith in the GNS. It's the patter song.
Yeah, and it's,
deal, isn't it?
And we've also actually going also to Sascha's been Lucifer before. There's a little connection with Like Will to Like, because Haphazard actually enters. The hint is there that he's just actually saying to Satan off stage, "Yeah, I'm going to do your bidding, mate. I'll you know, we can't afford to hire an actual Satan costume for this show. I'm just going to talk to you in the wings."
That's true, actually.
So that's sort of the suggestion there, is that he's coming on stage direct from hell, a bit like the Lucifer's apprentice in Like Will to Like.
Rob, as this stands at the moment, this is a musical.
Yeah, or at least a play with music. You know, it is. There's a song at the end of every scene.
Yeah, I mean they tell each other what it's all about, and then they burst into song about it in a completely unnatural and unnecessary way. It's a musical.
And actually, that makes sense with the stepforward wives scene at the very beginning, because musicals are often kind of over the top like that. I love musicals. I'm not putting.
Well, I think also it's the nature of the songs. These are not just random songs or now they sing. You know, these are all referring to stuff that's been going on in the scene. Anyone want to just see what actually has happened with Mansipulus, Mansipula, and Haphazard in this scene? What actually was the sort of general bone of contention or back and forth and that was going on here with the beating and the hustling and that? Did anyone take that in? Is basically the question.
No.
I think we were probably all so immersed in just trying to follow the words because I was looking at it and thinking, my God, thank God I can read this, because actually learning it to perform it would be an absolute bugger to do, I think.
Though they seem like country bumpkins, the words themselves are very complex.
Yeah.
I think it's to do with I don't know why I get this, but it's almost. I mean, there's talk of my mistress this, and it's almost like my land's better than your land, in a way, like friendly banter. But can I just point out the insults? Classic.
Oh, those are great insults. Yeah.
The lists of types of peoples, absolute joy. I'm going to go back over that again and again.
Yeah, and we've got once again, my tail makes buttons. So that shitting yourself line we've had many a time in many.
I thought that might be the case.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That phrase is clearly that it's the equivalent of he's shitting himself with fear or whatever. Yeah. He's making buttons. It's there. I mean, it's the sort of the weird sexual component between Mansipulus and Mansipula as well. You know, it's like they're having a domestic, and Haphazard tries to break them up, and is that sort of what's going on? that they're just having a row. Because once again, Mansipula is another one of these aggressive, fighty characters that we've had this week, actually.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not criticism.
Oh, sorry, I just love her. I think. Oh gosh, it's almost like a domestic, but it's not. I think there's an element of flirtation in there. As well. I will agree. It's just when she's talking. What was it? It was. It's just the whole thing with you boaster, you bragger, you rolling knave. You know, it's almost as if they know each other so well they can call each other those names.
Well, I think
that's how close it is.
It's a long married couple. Almost.
Well, it's telling with the line when Mansipulus say, "I'd rather wish her the end of my knife," and she goes, "Go on, give it me then. I'll you know."
Yeah.
Go for it, girl.
Been a while since I've seen that knife.
Oh yeah.
Dear.
Give me some action, please.
What intrigued me about it was I initially, when we first started that bit, I thought they were outside a church or they were waiting for a newly wedded couple. I don't know what. There was a couple of lines that just made me think, because they are waiting. When Subservus comes in, he talks about my lord, and he's waiting for you, doesn't he, or something?
Yeah.
And there's that, and I don't know. There was just something that made me think that they were bringing in a feast that was for something.
Okay, that's a thought. That's a thought. I mean, Subservus does sort of come on and go, "Excuse me, the A plot's calling you.
Yeah.
You need to enter the rest of the play now."
Yeah, go.
Yeah, super mate.
You've had your comedy. Get out.
I mean, I made an assumption that they were both servants. He of a lord, she of a lady, and probably the lord and lady were a couple. So they were servants in the same household. I made that assumption, but it may be totally false.
That's how I read it as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did sound like that was...
And I got the impression that there may be a bit of mirroring going on, that the sort of slight domestic arguments that we've seen between the two of them may actually be echoing what's going on higher up the social scale.
Well, yeah.
That's always a possibility.
We have reached the point, however, where we must start to find that that answer to that question. So, okay, we're going to meet the other title character now. Enter Judge Apius.
Who's Apius?
Who's Apius?
Who is Apius? Someone's got to be Apius. Sascha.
Oh, it's me, sorry. Okay, I will try that again with feeling. There we go. The furrowed face of fortune's force my pinching pain doth move. I, settled ruler of my realm, enforced am to love. Judge Apius, I, the princeliest judge that reigneth under sun, and have been so esteemed long, but now my force is none. I rule no more, but ruled am. I do not judge, but am judged. By beauty of Virginia, my wisdom all is trudged. Oh, peerless dame, oh, passing peace, oh, face of such a feature, that never erst with beauty such matched was by nature. Oh, fond Apelles, prattling fool, why boasteth thou so much? The famous piece thou madst in Greece, whose lineaments were such. Oh, why didst thou, deceived man, for beauty of thy work, in such a salt with fond desire, where no kind life did lurk, with raging fits thou, fool, run mad, O fond Pygmalion? Yet, sure, if thou sawest my dear, the like thou couldst make none, that what may I, oh gods above, bend down to hear my cry, as once ye did to Salmachus in pond hard Lycia by. Oh, that Virginia were in casus sometime Salmachus, and in Hermaphroditus steed myself might seek my bliss. Oh gods, Would I enfold her arms complecting of my neck? Or would I hurt her nimble hand, or yield her such a check? Would I gainsay her tender skin to bathe, where I do wash? Or else refuse her soft, sweet lips to touch my naked flesh? Nay, oh, the gods do know my mind. I rather would require to sue, to serve, to crouch, to kneel, to crave for my desire. But out, out, ye gods! Ye bend your brows and frown to see me fair. Ye do not force my fickle fate. Ye do not weigh my care. Unrighteous and unequal gods, unjust and eke untrue. Woe worth the time ye made me live to see this hapless hour. Did Iphis hang himself for love of lady not so fair? Or else did Jove the cloudy mist bend down from lightsome air? Or, as the poets mention, make of Enoch's daughter meek? For love did he too make a cow, whom Enoch long did seek? Is love so great to cause the quick to enter into hell, as stout Orpheus did attempt, as histories do tell? Then what is it that love cannot? Why, love did pierce the skies. Why, Phoebe and famous Mercury with love had blinded eyes. But I, a judge of grounded years, shall reap to me such name as shall resound dishonour, great with trump of careless fame. Oh, that my years were youthful yet, or that I were unwedded.
I
And
cease, Sir
here
Knight.
entereth Haphazard to break up this liturgy of despair.
Why cease, Sir Knight? For why, perhaps of you she shall be wedded. But follow my counsel, so you please, that of careful researching your heart shall have ease.
Oh, thundering gods that threaten ire and plague for each offence, yourselves, I deem, would counsel crave in this so fit pretence. And eke your needle stretched arms with great rewards would fly to purchase fair Virginia, so dear a right to me. And friend, I swear by Jupiter, and eke by Juno's seat, and eke by all the mysteries whereon thou canst entreat, thou shalt possess and have, I will thee grant and give, the greatest part of all my realm, for I thee to relieve.
Well then, this is my counsel, thus standeth the case. Perhaps such a fetch as may please your grace. There is no more ways, hap or hap not, either hap or else hapless to knit up the knot. And if you will hazard to venture what falls, perhaps that haphazard will end all your thralls.
I mean so, I will so, if thou do persuade me, to hap or to hazard what thing shall invade me. I king and I Kaiser, I rule and overwhelm, I do what it please within this my realm. Wherefore in thy judgment see that thou do enter, hap life or hap death, I surely will venture.
Then this and in this sort standeth the matter. What need many words, unless I should flatter? Full many there be will hazard their life, haply to end your grace of all of your strife. Of this kind of conspiracy now let us common some man Virginius before you must summon, and say that Virginia is none of his daughter, but the Virginius by night away caught her. Then charge you the father his daughter to bring, then do you detain her, till proved be the thing, which well may you win her, she present in house. It is but haphazard, a man or a mouse.
Here let him make as though he went out, and let conscience and justice come out after him, and let conscience hold in his hand a lamp burning, and let justice have a sword, and hold it before Apius' breast.
I find it, I mind it, I swear that I will. Though shame or defame do happen, no skill. But out, I am wounded, how am I divided? 2 states of my life from me are now glided. For conscience he pricketh me contend, and justice saith, justice would have me condemned. Conscience saith, cruelty sure will detest me, and justice saith, death in the end will molest me. And both in one sudden methinks they do cry, that fire eternal my soul shall destroy.
Why, these are but thoughts, man. Why, fie for shame, fie! Conscience was careless and sailing by seas, was drowned in a basket and had a disease, sore moved for pity when he would grant none, for being hard-hearted he was turned to a stone. And sailing by sandwich he sank for his sin, then care not for conscience the worth of a pin. Judgment judged justice to have a reward, for judging still justly, but all now is marred, for gifts they are given where judgment is none. Thus judgment and justice a wrong way hath gone. Then care not for conscience the worth of a fable, justice is no man, nor naught to do able.
And sayest thou so, my sured friend? Then hap as hap shall it. Let conscience grope and judgment crave. I will not shrink one whit. I will persevere in my thought. I will deflower her youth. I will not sure reverted be. My heart shall have no ruth. Come on, proceed and wait on me. I will hap woe or wealth, hap blunt, hap sharp, hap life, hap death, through haphazard be of health.
At hand, quoth Pickpurse, here ready am I. See well to the cutpurse, be ruled by me.
And Apius and Haphazard exit, and Conscience and Justice either still on stage or they enter here.
O clear unspotted gifts of Jove, how haps thou art refused? O conscience clear, what cruel mind thy truth hath thus misused? I spotted am by wilful will, by lawless love and lust, by dreadful danger of the life, by faith that is unjust.
Our gift of Jove, our fortune's face, our state of steady life, I justice am, and prince of peers, and the end of laws and strife, a guider of the common weal, a guardian to the poor, and yet hath filthy lust suppressed my virtues in 1 hour. Well, well, this is the most to trust, in end we shall aspire, to see the end of these our foes, with sword and eke with fire.
Oh help ye gods, we members require.
And they exit. Just going to pause there. I'm slightly wondering, actually, whether Conscience and Justice should speak earlier or not. I'm just a thought in my mind of just you know, when they have that dumb show moment of and then he rejects them and they exit there. Or I know why they wouldn't do it that way. It's just simply because they need a break so that Haphazard can the characters who are about to exit and come back on again have some room to do it. But that's a really, really interesting little sequence. I found that fascinating. I thought Apius's opening speech was, you know, that was really, you know, heartfelt, as well as also cramming in as many classical references as you can get, make us feel really sorry for him before he turns into a bastard.
Yeah, I mean, up to the moment when he said, except that I'm wedded.
Yeah, well, yeah, but even so, you know, he can still feel, and we can feel for his predicament.
Problems.
Yeah.
There's going to be problems ahead anyway with this guy.
Yeah. But the thing is that one of the problems I think I have with Haphazard here is that he's almost, by being this sort of outward sort of influence on him, it's almost like he's Apius might be let off the hook somewhat for his actions that are about to happen. Because he's contemplating something pretty horrible here, and do we expect the audience to be going, no, don't listen to him, walk away from the voice, he's clearly evil. Nobody's going with that. Okay.
It's a neat little legal trick to have the as a way of getting custody of the daughter. It's a neat,
Mm.
it's a neat trick.
And turns up in all sorts of places from recollection.
Ah.
Well, wasn't there something similar in Sweeney Todd?
Among other places.
Well, you know, Judge Turpin getting Joanna to be his ward. It's a certain. It's a tangential thing, but ignore me. But yeah, the personification of conscience and justice, literally the pricking of his conscience. Or is it the burning of his conscience? So is it justice who does the pricking? Yeah, conscience burns him with the brightness of its judicious flame. Conscious. Oh, never mind. Long week. Any other thoughts about? I thought that was a very effective scene. Actually, I thought that was. You know, the mood is shifting. At actually, you know, we started on quite happy, clappy, and happy, and it's gone on that sort of nice trajectory. There's a journey.
Yeah, it's
I was quite
nicely
impressed.
changed. Sorry.
So it's Sascha first.
Yeah, I think it was very nicely handled, actually. I think I can understand in a way why they do the first two scenes like that at the beginning to kind of, it gives the impression anyway, to lull everybody into a false sense of security. Then all of a sudden you get this fantastically written scene with these beautiful words and the manipulation that's clearly going on there. That's a really good device just to wake everybody up and just, you know, it's like, oh yeah, now here we go, here's the action starting now. Very enjoyable.
Helen.
Yeah, I was just going to say he didn't burst into song.
No songs here. No songs here.
Unless the speech is sung.
No,
I don't. None of those look like they are.
No, I don't think it would make sense anyway.
No. Conscience and justice might lament in a sad plaint, perhaps.
He does give a very good account of obsession.
Yeah.
Very good indeed.
I was very impressed with that speech. That was a speech where I went, "Oh no, that's a speech. That's a speech that's saying, hello, I'm a speech."
I know what you mean, Robert, because even reading that was actually really enjoyable to do, because you could actually, it forced you to slow down reading it, you know, as opposed to the other two, which are very, they're still paced, but it's faster. This one, it forces you to slow down as an actor.
Or else refuse her soft, sweet lips to touch my naked flesh. Nay, you know, that moment, you know, when he's letting himself drift into his obsession and said, no, back off.
You know, whoop, hold on. Yeah, it just gives that love. You're quite right. Again, it's that human psyche, you know, that's why I was kind of experimenting with touching the lips, the skin, you know, it's call for that. You know, you can see an actor in the middle of the stage, even on radio, you know, you can see and hear it, which is unusual for a speech of that caliber.
A lot is going to depend on how old you play him and how young Virginia is played. Virginia is played.
Yeah, I think, yes, there's got to be a massive age disparity there. That would make such a difference. That's what's suggested here, isn't it? He's talking about he wishes he was younger.
Yes.
My years were youthful yet, all that I were unwedded. I like that way round.
Are we almost back to Commedia stock characters?
To a degree, I don't know that the style is right for that, but except for possibly that first scene. Anyway, we do need to move forward. So I suspect the plot is going to unravel even further now. Oh, yeah. So enter Haphazard.
When gain is no grandsire, and gourds naught set by, nor puddings nor pie meat, poor knaves will come nigh. Then Hap and Haphazard shall have a new coat, and so it may happen to cut covetousness' throat. Yea, then shall Judge Apius Virginia obtain, and geese shall crack muscles, perhaps in the rain, Larks shall be leverets, and skip to and fro, and churls shall be cod's heads, perhaps, and also, but peace for man's body, haphazard be mum. Fry, threatening noddy, Judge Apius is come.
And here enter Judge Apius and Claudius.
The furies fell of Limbo Lake, my princely days do short. All drowned in deadly ways I live, that once did joy in sport. I live and languish in my life, as doth the wounded deer. I thirst, I crave, I call and cry, and yet am naught the near. And yet I have that me so match within the realm of mine. But, Tantalus, amidst my care, I hunger, starve, and pine. As Sisyphus, I roll the stone in vain to top of hill, that ever more uncertainly revolving slideth still. Oh, if to her 'twere as to me, what labours would I fly, what raging seas would I not plough, to her commodity. But out, alas, I doubt it sore, lest drowsy Morpheus has slumbry kingdoms planted hath with dews unbeauteous. Oh, gods above that rule the skies, ye babes that brag in bliss, ye goddesses, ye graces you, what burning brunt is this? Bend down your ire, destroy me quick, or else to grant me grace, no more, but that my burning breast Virginia may embrace. In case your ears be dead and deaf, thy fiend and spirits below, you careless carles of Limbo Lake, your forced mights do show. Thou caitiff king of darksome dens, thou Pluto, plagued knave, send forth thy sacred vengeance straight, consume them to the grave, that will not aid my case.
Content, and if it like your grace, I will attempt the deed. I summon will Virginius before your seat with speed.
Do so, my lord, be you not afraid, and so you may happen to hazard the maid. It is but in hazard, and may come by hap. Win her or lose her, try you the trap.
By the gods I consent to thee, Claudius, now. Prepare thee in haste, Virginius, unto charge him, command him upon his allegiance, with all kind of speed to yield his obeisance before my seat in my consistory. What is that word?
Subpoena.
Is it subpoena? Thank you.
Yeah.
Subpoena of land, life, and treasury. No let, no stay, no aught perturbers shall cause me to omit the furtherance of this my weighty charge.
And here let Claudius go out with Haphazard.
Well now, I range at large my will for to express. Look how Tarquin Lucrece fair by force did once oppress. Even so will I Virginia use.
And here let conscience speak within.
Judge Apius, prince, O stay, refuse, be ruled by thy friend. What bloody death with open shame did Tarquin gain an end?
Whence does this pinching sound descend?
From contrite conscience, pricked on by member of thy life, enforced for to cry and call, and all to end our strife.
Who art thou then? Declare, be brief.
Not flesh nor lust, nor filthy lust I am, but secret conscience I, compelled to cry with trembling soul, at point near hand to die.
Why, no disease hath me approached, no grief doth make me grudge, but want of fair Virginia, whose beauty is my judge. By her I live, by her I die, for her I joy or woe. For her my soul doth sink or swim, for her I swear I go.
Ah, gods, what wits doth reign! And yet to you unknown, I die the death, and soul doth sink this filthy flesh hath sown.
I force it not, I will attempt. I stay for Claudius here. Yet will I go to meet with him, to know what news and cheer.
And we can assume that he exits as Haphazard enters, perhaps? There is no exit line indicated.
Haste for a hangman in hazard of hemp. Run for a ruddock, there is no such imp. Claudius is knocking with hammer and stone Virginius' gate as hard as he can lay on. By the gods, my master, Haphazard is hardy, for he will run rashly, be they never so many. Yea, he will sing sow snout and snap with the best. But peace, who comes yonder? That jolly good guest.
Yes, and that might actually be jest, because here entereth with a song Mansipulus, Mansipula, and Subservus, all singing, when men will see misdoubtfully, without a why to call and cry, and fearing with temerity its jeopardy of liberty, we wish him to take cheer his heart haphazard, bold as blind Bayard, a fig for his uncourtesy, that seeks to shun good company.
What if case that cruelty should bustle me and jostle me, and Ollie one should tickle me for keeping of good company? I'll follow, by my honesty, haphazard, bold as blind Bayard, a fig for his uncourtesy that seeks to shun good company.
And they sing the chorus again.
Never was that mistress so furious, nor curious, nor yet her blow so boisterous, nor roisterous, nor dolorous. But sure would I venture, Haphazard, bold as blind Bayard, a fig for his uncourtesy that seeks to shun good company.
When men will see misdoubtfully, etc. Chorus goes.
Then wend ye on and follow me, Mansipula, Mansipula. Let cropping cares be cast away. Come follow me, come follow me. Subservus is a jolly lout. Brace Haphazard, bold as blind Bayard. A fig for his uncourtesy that seeks to shun good company.
And they all sing the chorus once again, and everybody applauds at the end of the song. Here Haphazard speaketh.
Aye, by the gods, my masters, I told you plain, companies with me will desire me again. How did you speed? I pray ye show me. Was all well agreed? Did nobody blow ye?
Master, it did so happen that my lord and master stayed in beholding and viewed the pasture, which when I perceived, what excuse did I make? I came in the crossway on the near side the forelake, hard by Hodge's half acre at Gaffer Mill's stile, the next way roundabout and by the space of a mile. And at Sinkinside Ridge my lord stood talking, and angrily to me quoth he, Where hast thou been walking? Without any staggering I had ready my lie, out at a bridge meadow and Benel's lease, quoth I. Your fatlings are feeding well, sir, the gods be praised. A goodly loom of beef on them is already raised. Then out steps Francis Fabulator, that was never my friend. I passed ye Carter's hay stack at Long Meadow End. There might one, quoth he, within this few days, with a cast net have given on 4 knaves greater says. Under the hedge with a pair of new cards doth rip and fledge. Is he true? Quoth my lord. Will this gear never be left? This causes swearing and staring, prowling and theft. Oh, quoth my lord, take heed, lest I find it. And so passed his way and did no more mind it.
By the gods, that was sport. Yea, and sport alone.
Yea, but I was in a worse case, by St. John. My lady in church was full set devout, and hearing my coming she turned about. But as soon as I heard her snappishly sound, in this sort I crouched me down to the ground, and mannerly made as though I was sad. As soon as the pew then strawed I had, she gave me a wink and frowardly frown, whereby I do judge she will cudgel my gown. Then I did devise a pretty fine prank, and mean whereby to pick me a thank of Marjorie Milden, the maid of the milk house, and Stainer the stutter, the guide of the storehouse. Then was my lady's anger well gone, as will be so still, and the truth be not known.
Our lady barefoot, this bakes trimly.
Nay, but I escaped more finely, for I under this hedge One will did stay, then in this bush, then in that way. Then slip I behind them among all the rest, and seemed to commune too of things with the best. But so it did happen that all things were well, but hazard it is, less time will truth tell.
That was but hap by hap, and if it be so, sith it was in hazard, then let it go.
Content by my honesty, then farewell all woe.
Come out, dog, ye speak happily of truth, if it be so.
Now.
And everybody says, now Master Haphazard, fare you well for a season.
Let my counsel at no time with you lie geesen.
No, brother
By the
lords,
gods, he should not so.
Well, sith here is no company, have with ye to Jericho.
And exit the comic relief.
That went well.
I love my map. You could picture that speech almost as a map. It was glorious.
I know, it's great.
They remind me of it's almost like they're devils in disguise.
Mm. Yeah, they're wandering around doing little bits of mischief. I mean, there is a sense here with both the previous mini scene with Apius and Claudius that, you know, nothing new per se really happens there. There's a little bit, but it's sort of just bringing back on. Apius does a sort of reprise of his last speech about really liking Virginia. And then we have this, the conscience. We so need to give you a reverb for conscience, didn't it? Because that's what it is. It's, I am the voice of your conscience. I just love that.
We haven't been talking much lately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
dear.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to be got out of the comedy business that we've had here with Haphazard and these two, the stories that are being told here. You know, a cold read. I mean, there's some great names. You've got generic names like Hodge and Simpkin, etc. But Francis Fabulator. I like Francis Fabulator. I don't think I've come across that one before.
Well, someone who makes fables, a liar.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I don't think I've come across some of these others before. But that one's a new one on me. I like that.
What's striking me is the amount of alliteration that's being used.
Yeah.
Which is not something we've encountered much in the ones I've been involved with reading.
Is it to help the memory? Is it like a memory, trying to keep the memory for the actors easily?
Could be.
I think it's just showing off.
Yeah.
I think it's also, if it's, you know, coming from a Chaucerian source, then a little bit of a love of that is part of the game.
Of course, to quote Michael Caine, it's getting the rhyme wrong.
Yeah. And also just the songs are so well, they're really good song lyrics. They're genuinely catchy lyrics for a song.
Yeah.
You know, I was very tempted actually to do the choruses in full, because actually it all moves along really nicely, and you know there's a lot of skill in those.
I would love to know what was going on under the hedge.
Yeah.
Use your imagination.
But I mean, I actually don't understand it.
No.
The castanet had given 4 knaves great essays under the hedge with a pair of new cards, both rip and fledge.
Yeah,
I
this is confusing to say.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I genuinely, that's as I was saying, I'm really not very sure what that story is precisely doing. It just seems quite fun, even if I'm not really following precisely, and that's one to unpack really. I'm just going to see if there's any helpful note here. Well, the cards, both rip and fledge, that's to do with instruments with teeth to comb out wool, apparently.
Carding wool. Right. Got it.
Which makes that potentially a even lewder impression, actually. I'm working the assumption that anything these people say is basically a double entendre. I'm just gonna. It's either that or I'm just looking for things that sound dirty.
Robert always gives me the clean stuff. It's terrible.
Any other
Typecasting
thoughts?
again.
Any other thoughts before we move into the final third? No. Okay, let's go. Virginius. We haven't seen Virginius for a while since everyone was definitely happy. Nobody's been unhappy yet.
I'm just looking forward to some jokes from him. It's great.
I'm sure he'll be hilarious. So, Virginius returning. Let's see what the plot has been doing to him.
What? So the gods they have decreed to work and do by me. Marvel why Judge Apius he such greetings lets me sit. What? So the gods they have decreed to work and do by me. I marvel why Judge Apius he such greetings lets me see. I served, have his seat and state. I have maintained his weal. I have suppressed his rebel stout. I bear to him such zeal. And now he sends to me such charge upon my life and lands, without demur or further pause, or ere aught things be scanned, that I in haste with posting speed to court I do repair, to answer that alleged is before his judgment chair. Some histories that do express when such mishaps do fall, they should have taken many a one. I have not one but all. My jewels sometimes precious do fade, and bear no hue. My senses they do shun their course, my lights do burn as blue. My willing wits are wax slow that once were swift in speed. My heart it throbs in wondrous sort, my nose often doth bleed. My dreadful dreams do draw my woe, and hateful hazard hail. These tokens of evil hap, this is the old wives' tale. But yet, O thou Virginius, whose hoary hairs are old, didst tread treason never yet commit, of this thou mayst be bold. In Mars, his games, in martial feats, thou wast his only aid. The huge Charybdid, his hazards, thou for him thou hast oft assailed. Was Scylla's force by thee oft shunned, or yet Lady Circe's land? Pacifies child, the Minotaur, did cause thee ever stand? To pleasure him, to serve thy liege, to keep all things upright, thou God above, then what is it that yieldeth me this spite? Sith nothing needs misdoubted be, where grounded cause is none, I enter will Judge Apius's gate, rejecting care and moan. But stay, Virginius, lo, thy prince doth enter into place. O sovereign lord and rightful judge, the gods do save thy grace.
With tender heart, Virginius, thou welcome art to me. I sorry am to utter out the things I hear of thee. For Claudius, a subject here, a man of mickle fame, appealeth thee before my court in deed of open shame. And though indeed I love thee so as thy deserts desire, ye not so, but I must judgment give, as justice doth require.
My lord, and reason good it is, your servant doth request no partial hand to aid his cause, no partial mind or breast. If aught I have offended you, your court or eke your crown, from lofty top of turret high precipitate me down. If treason none by me be done, or any fault committed, let my accusers hear the blame, and let me be remitted.
Good reason too, Virginius. Come, Claudius, show thy mind. Yet justice here, if judgment may Virginius guilty find.
Thou sovereign lord and rightful judge, this standeth now the case. In tender youth, not long agone, near 16 years of space, Virginius, a thrall of mine, a child, an infant young, from me did take by subtle means, and keeps by arm full strong. And here before your grace I crave, that justice be extended, that I may have my thrall again, and faults may be amended.
Oh, gods that guide the globe above, what forged tales I hear. Oh, Judge Apius, bend your ears while this my crime I clear. She is my child, and my wife her tender corpse did spring. Let all the country where I dwell bear witness of the thing.
And Apius and Claudius go forth, but Apius says this on his way out.
Nay, by the gods, not so, my friend. I do not so decree. I charge thee here in pain of death, thou bring the maid to me. In chamber close, in prison sound, she secret shall abide, and no kind of wight shall talk with her until the truth be tried. This do I charge, this I command. In pain of death, let see, without any let that she be brought as prisoner to me.
And they finally exit. Here let Virginius go about the scaffold.
Ah, fickle, fallen, happy doom, our most uncertain fate, that ever chance so churnishly that never stayed in state. What church is this? What cruel wretch? What faith doth Claudius find? The gods do recompense with shame his false and faithless mind. Well, home I must, no remedy. Where shall my soaking tears augment my woes, decrease my joys, while death do rid my fears?
And he exits, and here enters Rumour.
Come, Ventus, come, blow forth thy blast. Prince Eol, listen well, the filthiest fact that ever was, I Rumour now shall tell. You gods, bend down to hear my cry, revengement duly show. Thy Rumour craves, bid Claudius stay, and bring Judge Apius low. That wicked man, that fleshly judge, hath hired Claudius to claim a child, the only heir of old Virginius, a virgin pure, a queen in life, whose state may be deplored. For why the queen of chaste life is like to be deflowered by false Judge Apius, cruel wretch, who straitly hath commanded that she to keeping his be brought. Prince Pluto this demanded. To skies I fly, to blaze abroad the tromp of deep defame. Revenge, you gods, this Rumour craves, this blood and bloody shame. Have through the air, you place, you heirs, this is my duty done. The gods confound such lecherers. Lo, Rumour, this I run.
And we can assume that Rumour then also exits. This last minute appeal from Virginius falls on fairly deaf ears of Apius there. There's some really very moving stuff. You know, just of my wife, her tender corpse did spring. Do we miss something?
No.
No.
Did she go?
Yeah, that's what I was
Corpse as
wondering.
in body.
Yeah.
So she's not dead.
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's just
Did we used to use corpse for body?
Yes.
Well, that's what it means.
yeah, but as in a living body.
Well,
Yes.
that's your modern version.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, it's an important thing to clarify because the audience's mind is going, hang on, when did she die?
Yeah, because that's
yeah.
literally. I literally went back. I literally went back through the text, and I was like, "Wait, what? When? How? What?"
Yeah. I was like, what? As well?
So that's one that might need a fix.
Did not know this.
I love the my, and he does it again in a minute, that repeats a word at the beginning of sentences that in that speech, where is it? Go back.
Oh, well,
My
senses,
jewels, my senses, my
Yeah.
winning, my heart.
Yeah.
Fabulous, heartfelt speech. That.
Well, it's the thing. This is my reward for helping him.
Mm.
You know, it's not just he's ruining my life. I've done everything for him. You know, I helped make him who he is, and this is my reward. What the hell is going on?
Claudius's story is interesting. I mean, it's assuming some form of serfdom exists in this place, wherever it may be.
Yes, that makes sense. I'm sure that there is some gloss somewhere about the logic of the narrative's placement in time and place, and somewhere, which I do not have.
If it's derived from Chaucer, you're not that far away from serfdom, are you?
Yeah, I think it's that sort of universe.
Actually, there were some, the royal serfs were never manumitted. So every now and then in Elizabeth's time, someone is claimed to be a royal serf and has to buy their way out. This happened to the Lord Mayor of Bristol once. It was very embarrassing.
Amazing.
Usually when the Exchequer was shy on funds.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Can't see the link at all there, no.
No.
Anyway, any additional thoughts? A rumour, of course, always nice to have the appearance of another personification of a thing. We've got conscience as a reverby voice, as well as being seen. But here enters rumour to blow forth thy blast, and just puts the word out. And the rumour's not really untrue or anything. It's not like a false rumour. It's just simply words got out that he's a bit of a git. And this is going to lead to I think some difficult action that's going to be coming up next. So Virginius, let's say his state of mind is not more stable than the last time we saw him. That's why we can assume he exits. He might have stayed on stage and just listened to rumour. There's no indication in the text whether he actually exits or not. But anyway, for this, Virginius now speaks.
Oh man, oh mould, oh muck, oh clay, oh hell, oh hellish hound, oh false judge Apius, rambling wretch, is this thy treason found? Woe worth the man that gave the seed whereby ye first did spring. Woe worth the womb that bare the babe to mean this bloody thing. Woe worth the paps that gave thee suck. Woe worth the fosters eke. Woe worth all such as ever did thy health or living seek. Oh, that these graven hairs of mine were covered in the clay.
And here entereth Virginia.
Let patience, dear father mine, your rigour something stay. Why do you wail in such a sort? Why do you weep and moan?
Oh, daughter dear, and only my only heir, my life is near begone, and all for love of thee.
Ah, gods, how may this be? Dear father, do withdraw your dread, and let me know the cause. Myself will aid with life or death without demur or pause. Then tender your child that craveth this bound.
Oh, hearken, dear daughter, attend thou my sound. Judge Apius, pricked forth with filthy desire, thy person as Lemand doth greatly require. And no kind of entreaty, no fear, nor no shame will he here allege, defending the same. And straight without staying, in pain of my death, I must bring thee thither. Wherefore stop my breath. O sisters, I search, I seek, and I crave no more at your hands but death for to have, rather than see my daughter deflowered, or else in all sorts so wildly devoured.
O father, O friendship, O fatherly favour, whose dulcet words so sweetly do savour, on knees I beseech thee to grant my request, in all things according as liketh thee best. Thou knowest, O my father, if I be once spotted, my name and my kindred then forth will be blotted. And if thou, my father, should die for my cause, the world would account me guilty in cause. Then rather, dear father, if it be thy pleasure, grant me the death, then keep I my treasure, my lamp, my light, my life undefiled, and so may Judge Apius of my flesh be beguiled. This upon my knees, with humble behest, grant me, O father, my instant request.
Then rise up, my daughter. My answer do note from mouth of thy father, whose eyes do now float. O daughter, O dear, O darling, O dame, dispatch me, I pray thee, regard not my name. But yet, as thou sayest, sith remedy none, but the man thou must be if I were gone. Better it is to die with good fame than longer to live to reap us but shame. But if thou do die, no doubtless is at all, but presently after myself follow shall. Then end without shame, so let us persevere, with trump of good fame, so die shall we never.
And here Virginia kneeleth, and the next line actually is Virginia as well. So treat the next two lines and the rest as a single speech.
Okay. Then tender arms complete the neck, do dry thy father's tears. You nimble hands, for woe whereof my loving heart it wears. O father mine, refrain no wit your sharp knife to take, from gilded sheath my shame to end, and body debt to make. Let not the shameful bloody judge defile my virgin life. Do take my head, and send it him upon your bloody knife. Bid him imbrue his bloody hands in guiltless blood of mine. I, virgin, die. He lecher lives. He was my end, you see. No more delays. Lo, kiss me first, then stretch your strongest arm. Do rid my woe, increase my joy, do ease your child of harm.
O weary wits of woe, or wealth of feeble aged man, how can thy arm give such a blow? Thy death I wish thee then. But sift that shame with endless trample sound, if case thy joy by means of false judge Apius be, myself will thee destroy. Forgive me, babe, this bloody deed, and meekly take thy end.
Here let him proffer a blow.
The gods forgive thee, father dear, farewell, thy blow do bend. Yet stay a while, O father dear, for flesh to death is frail. Let first my wimple bind my eyes, and then thy blow assail. Now, father, work thy will on me, that life I may enjoy.
Here tie a handkerchief about her eyes, and then strike off her head.
Is that Virginius?
That I'm assuming is you.
Yes. Now stretch thy hand, Virginius, the loath would flesh destroy. O cruel hands, O bloody knife, O man, what hast thou done? Thy daughter dear and only heir her vital end hath won. Come, fatal blade, make like dispatch. Come, Atropos, come aid. Strike home the careless arm with speed. Of death be not afraid.
So we can assume that perhaps the strike off a head comes there. It's not 100% clear.
Or is he trying to kill himself?
Oh, maybe he's trying to kill himself. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, that would make that.
Because it's like dispatch.
Yeah.
Not dispatch.
Ah. Here entereth comfort, then, perhaps to stay his wandering hand.
O noble knight, Virginius, do stay, be not dismayed. I, curing comfort, present am, your dollar for to aid.
Sith joy is gone, sith life is dead, what comfort can there be? No more. There is but deep despair and deadly death to me.
No more, Sir Knight. Take the head, and wend a while with me. It shall be sent to court, that Judge Apius may it see. In recompense of lecher's lust, this present let him have, and stay your corpse for a certain space in coping from the grave. So shall you see the end of him, and all his whole consent. This will we comfort your heart, Virginius. Be content.
Of truth, even so, for comfort else I know right well is none. Wherefore I do consent with you. Come on, let us be gone. The messenger myself will give the gift. Come on, good comfort. When we then, there is no other shift.
And they exit. We're just going to briefly pause here because, wow, that's another very, very powerful scene. It's pure Abraham and Isaac all the way through, isn't it? We've done quite a few Abraham and Isaacs in our time. We have the handkerchief about the eyes. We have the back and forth about when the blow, the essentially the consent to be murdered. And what we don't have here is an angel coming in halfway through and going, you know what, maybe not. We have that almost transposed here with him trying to kill himself and Comfort coming in and stopping the blow. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's as much a reference that Chaucer was trying to make the first time around, but it has its real connections with medieval drama, which is still alive. I should point out at the time this is being written. It hasn't died out yet. Mystery tradition is still just about hanging in there. Yeah. And he's going to take the head off. So there's some mechanics here to be done. But we've
unless you get a new Virginia every time.
Well, it's an overcrowded profession.
Drama.
I really like the fact that she's like, okay, take my head off and actually give him the bloody head, please. It's really Viking of her.
Wonderful revenge drama.
It's really, yeah, dark.
It is indeed. We do need to have finished the text, so hold on any additional thoughts there. Let us rattle on to the end, because Judge Apius is coming on stage, and I suspect he's not going to be a happy bunny.
Well, hap as hap can, hap or no, in hazard it is, but let that go. I will, whatso happen, pursue on still. Why, none there is living can let me my will. I will have Virginia, I will her deflower, else rigorous sword her heart shall devour.
Here entereth Haphazard.
I came from Caleco even the same hour, and Hap was hired to Hackney in Hempstead. In Hazard he was a riding in Bemstead. Then crow crop on two drop, hoist up the sail, then groaned their necks by the weight of their tail. Then did Carnifex put these three together, paid them their passport for clustering thither.
Why now, Haphazard, of what dost thou speak? Methinks in mad sort thy talk thou dost break. Those three words, chop all in one, is Carnifex, that signifieth hangman, peace. No such words before me do utter.
Nay, I lie still as a cat in a gutter. Go to, Judge Apius, go forward, good prince. Perhaps ye may have the which will not blince.
What is the man that liveth now so near to door of death? As I, for lust of lady fair, whose lack will stop my breath? But long I shall not want her sight, I stay her coming here. Oh, lucky light! Lo, present here her father doth appear. Oh, how I joy! Yet brag thou not, Dame Beauty bides behind. Virginius, where is the maid? How hadst thou break my mind?
And so here, at some point, has entered Virginius, intimated that bearing Virginia's head, but maybe behind his back for the moment, by that opening apparition. Let's see if there's a clear indication when Apius figures what's happening.
Wicked judge! The Virgin chaste hath sent her beauteous face in recompense of lecher gain. To thee so void of grace, she bids thee imbrue thy bloody hands and filthy lecherous mind with Venus' damsels, void of shame, where such thou hapst to find. But thou, as with Diana's imp, shalt never be acquainted. They rather wish the naked knife than virgin's life attainted, and in just proof whereof, behold Virginia's head. She sought her fame, thou sought her shame. This arm hath smit her head.
Cursed and cruel, cankered child! Oh, Carl, unnatural! Which has the seed of thine own loin thrust forth to funeral? Ye gods, bend down your ire, do plague him for this deed. You sprites below, you hellish hounds, do give him gall for mead. Myself will see his latter end. I judge him to the death. death that fair Virginia took, the life shall stop his breath. The flashy fiends of limbo take his ghost to sow turmoil, that he hath need of Charon's help for all his filthy toil. Come, justice, then, come on, reward, come, aid in my need. Thou wicked knight shall slaughtered be with self-same knife, with speed.
Sith she is a virgin pure and chaste in heaven leads her life, content I am to die with her and die upon her knife.
Come, justice, then, come on, reward, when judgment now doth call.
We both... Sorry.
Yes. Now, here entereth justice and reward, and they both speak this, but for the moment, justice can say all of that.
We both are ready here at hand to work thy fatal fall. O Gorgon judge, what lawless life hast thou most wicked led? Thy soaking sin hath sunk thy soul, thy virtues all are fled. Thou chaste and undefiled life did seek for to have spotted, and thy reward is ready here, by justice now allotted.
And the way the doublings worked, reward is also Apius, but Apius doesn't actually say anything, I think, else. So the Sascha remains reward, I think, for the remainder of it. He's a silent horror.
Okay. Thy just reward is deadly death. Wherefore come, wend away. To death I straight will do thy corpse, then lust shall have his prey. Virginius, thou woeful knight, come near and take thy foe. In prison do thou make him fast, no more let him do so. Let Claudius for tyranny be hanged on a tree.
Ah, right reward. The gods be blessed. This day I chance to see.
And perhaps they exit off and death occurs or something, but at the moment, enter Haphazard.
Why, how now, my lord Apius? What cheer? Why, where is my reward for this gear? Why did I ride, run, and revel, and for all my jaunting now made a javel? Why, run, sir knave, call me Claudius. Then run with a vengeance, watch Virginius. Then ride, sirrah, is Virginia at church? Then gallop to see where her father doth lurch. Then up, sirrah, now what counsel? Of Dame Beauty, what news canst thou tell? Thus in hurly-burly from pillar to post, poor Haphazard daily was tossed. And now with Virginius he goes sadly walking, and nothing at all will I listen my talking. But shall I be so used to his hands, as lief were I were near in limbo bands? Drunnel, that drowsy drake-nosed drivel, he never learned his manners in Seville. The judge may cause a gentleman. A gentleman? Nay, a jack herring, as honest as he that carries his hose on his neck for fear of wearing. A caitiff, a cutthroat, a churl-worthy blame, I will serve him no longer, the devil give him shame. Yet by the mouse-foot I am not content, I will have a reward, sure, else will I repent. To master reward I straightways will go. The worst that can hap is but a no. But sure I know his honesty is such, that he will recompense me with little or much. And well this proverb cometh in my head, Our Lady, half a loaf is better than ne'er a whit of bread. Therefore hap and be happy, hap that hap may, I will put it in hazard, I'll give it a say. All hail, Master Reward and righteous justice, I beseech you let me recompense too, according to my service. For while this long time I have lived in hope.
Then for thy reward then, here is a rope.
Nay, soft my masters, by St. Thomas of Trunnions, I am not despised to buy of your onions. A rope, quoth you? Away with that showing, would grieve a man having two ploughs going. Nay, stay, I pray you, and let the cat wink. Is naught in dry summer for letting my drink?
Let or let not, there is no remedy. Hanging shall be thy reward, verily.
Is there nothing but hanging to my lot doth fall? Then take you my reward, much good will it do it you withal. I am not so hasty, although I be claiming, but that I can afford you the most of my gaining. I will let, grant, yield, permit and promise all the reverence used to you of my service. I'm friendly, I'm kindly, I proffer you fair. You shall be my full executor and heir.
Nay, make you ready first to die by the rood. Then we will dispose it as we think good. Then those that with you to this did consent, the like reward shall cause them repent.
Nay, stay a while. Virginius is coming.
And Haphazard presses to go forth, but is forced to stay as Virginius comes back on stage.
Nay, soft Haphazard, you are not so cunning thus to escape without punishment.
No, certes, it is not so expedient.
And by this point, Virginius has made it all the way on stage.
O noble justice, duty done, behold, I come again, to show you that Apius he himself have lewdly slain. As soon as he in prison was enclosed out of sight, he desperate for bloody deed did slay himself outright. And Claudius doth mercy crave, who did the deed for fear. Safe, O Lord, to save his life, though country be forbear.
We grant him grace at thy request, but banish him the land, and see that death be done outright on him that here doth stand.
Nay, Master Virginius, take him by the hand. I crave not for service the thing worth aught. Hanging, quoth you, to the last end of my thought. Fie for shame, fie, stay by my father's soul. Why, this is like to Tom Turner's dole. Hang one man and save all the rest. Take part with one with another. Plain dealing is best.
This is our dealing, thus deal we with thee. Take him hence, Virginius, go truss him to a tree.
Shall ye, in a rope's name? Whither away with me?
Come when thou in haste thy death for to take. To the hangman I will lead thee, a quick dispatch to make.
Must I needs hang? By the gods, it doth spite me, to think how crabbily this silk lace will bite me. Then come, cousin Cutpurse, come run, haste and follow me. Haphazard must hang. Come, follow the livery.
And he exits.
Well, wend we now. The end of fleshly lust we see.
Content, reward is ready bent with justice to agree.
And here entereth fame.
Oh, stay, you noble justice, stay. Reward, do make no haste. We, ladies, three have brought the course in earth that must be placed.
Doctrina and Memory and Virginius bring a tombstone on stage.
We have brought back Virginius, the funeral to see. I grant him that learned pen shall have the aid of me, to write in learned verse the honour of her name.
And eke it shall resound by trump of me, Dame Fame.
And here let Memory write on the tombstone.
I, Memory, will mind her life. Her death shall ever reign within the month and mind of man, from age to age again.
And justice sure will aid all those that imitate her life.
And I, reward, will punish those that move such stains to strife.
Then sing we round about the tomb in honour of her name.
Content we are with willing mind to sing with sound of fame.
And we move now to the epilogue, perhaps following the song that has been sounded there, or the song might happen after, who knows.
As earthly life is granted none for evermore to reign, a denting death will cause them all to grant this world as vain. Right worshipful, sith sure it is that mortal life must evade, do practice then to win his love that all in all hath made. And by this poet's feigning here, example do you take of Virginia's life of chastity, of duty to thy make, of love to wife, of love to spouse, of love to husband dear, of bringing up of tender youth. All these are noted here. I doubt it not, right worshipful, that well you do conceive the matter that is ended now, and thus I take my leave, beseeching God as duty is our gracious queen to save the nobles and the commons eke with prosperous life I crave.
And the play ends. It's I think there's a bit of confusion there about precisely when Virginius and Apius exit there. I'm assuming they pass Haphazard as Haphazard comes on, because he says, "What? How now, my lord Apius? What cheer? Where is my reward?" As if he's going, "Am I going to not get any reward?" And then I think the rest is the audience. I could be wrong on that, but it seemed like ships passing in the night.
That was how I felt it.
Yeah. So he gets killed off stage, kills himself off stage. Slightly disappointing.
Would have been nice to see that.
But at least it was slightly more plausible than the end of Cambyses.
What, just accidentally sort of stabs himself?
My dagger jumped out of its scabbard.
Yeah.
Oh no, I am stabbed.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Cambyses was good. It's brutal.
I mean, seriously brutal. Red Wedding brutal.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. Go truss him to a tree. That's very reminiscent of the line in the Mysteries. I think it's Chester, where it's literally, I think Caiaphas comes, so it just goes to the soldiers. "Oh, just nail him on the tree. Just get on with it." There's something really something very, very interesting there. So Haphazard's dead. Virginius isn't. He survives.
Yeah.
Go on,
Cousin Cutpurse turns up again.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, that must
that.
that must be a generic someone in the audience gag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whoever you think's going to be robbing your clientele.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that idea that it's just like there is definitely a pickpocket in the audience, and I'm going to pick him out. And
that's not the cut purse is different. Pick purse is will pick your pocket. A cut purse will cut the string. We had a play that helpfully demonstrated that for us with cut purse and pick purse both on stage at the same time.
Oh, lovely. Virginius has a hell of a through line in this play.
Yeah, he starts so happy and he ends so sad. I mean, that opening, we mocked the opening a little, but you know what? It served a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Comfort, I feel, is not doing a decent job. Comfort should have arrived about 30 seconds. No, I mean, Comfort should have arrived a few lines earlier, and we could have solved, the plot could have had a happy...
Yeah.
London transport delays again.
It's like if only they'd had one of these in some places.
I mean, half a dozen lines earlier, if Comfort had turned up.
Yeah, but comfort is by its nature what comes too late. It's the ice cream tub after the breakup. It doesn't turn up and stop the breakup happening.
True.
And you wouldn't have had a severed head to titillate the audience.
Absolutely.
True.
I really want to know the mechanics of how they would have made that work.
Live on stage beheading. It's not easy to do. I have had to do it before. I've done all the deaths, by the way. Stabbing, doddle. Strangulation, easy. Crucifixion, hard work. You need people with good, strong backs. Beheading, really technically tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is that story of when they did Danton's death at the National, and most of the audience spent most of the time trying to work out how they did the guillotine.
There's a superstructure with the guillotine. That's slightly easier.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to
but
say a
still the same.
guillotine death is easier than, say, an axe beheading.
Yeah.
I would agree.
But this is just a knife, isn't it? Or a
It
sword?
is, yeah. Because it would have taken time shot. Sorry, being very gruesome, but yeah, it's no easy axe bang. It's like
if it's
knife, gotta carve
if it's
really.
I mean, if it's a big sharp sword, that was something that an executioner used to have. Small Roman sword, on the other hand.
Really?
Well, to be
Don't
fair,
have enough lines for that.
To be fair, I don't know if he actually just. It does say strike off her head, doesn't he? He does actually literally say strike off her head. Because I was thinking you would cheat it and say he just slits her throat or something, kills her in some way, and then the head happens later. That would.
Maybe the what she say wimple that she has, and because she has to cover. She has to cover her head before it gets struck off. So there must be a trick involving that.
I'm sort of thinking just some black cloth.
Because I was wondering about that line actually, because with however many problems I have with the fact that I would rather kill myself than be
Yes, we haven't really got to that point yet, have we? We've just been talking about the mechanics of it all.
However many problems I have with that, when I read it, and that might just be what I'm reading into it, but she seems really determined, and it's her dad who's doing the crying, and she's just like, nope, this is what we're doing. Also, get my head, take it to him, and show it to him, which is again really kind of Viking. And I don't think it makes sense for her to say, "Oh, I don't want to flinch."
Was she a Christian?
Because she seems unflinching.
Was she a Christian in the original story, or am I going? Is it that period? I'm wondering.
It's Christian.
I genuinely don't know, and that's. I'm
just thinking, because that makes sense of the look. I'm going to give myself up. Is that she then becomes a martyr?
As far as I know, though, that was a thing for Romans too.
Yeah.
That was a thing in Roman culture, rather than
that's right.
Christianity.
Hey.
Yeah. If I remember correctly with the story, she is Christian. And I'm just thinking of the sort of effects you would do. The simplest way to do it is, if the timing's right, sharp blackout and a quick sound effect.
Oh, it's easier for us to do it.
Yeah.
they didn't have blackouts.
Let's blow out all the candles.
Yeah, it could well have been a candle job. It could well have been a candle job, for all we know.
Well, I think it has to be an indoor thing. They talk about there's scaffold, so they've got some staging in place. This isn't haphazard. This production at all. Helen, are you ready?
Yeah. You know what's missing? Mama.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Agree.
Well, that's why I leapt to, when I saw a corpse, I leapt to her being dead. There's a series of, she is, the grief of this event has led to her passing, because it makes more sense dramatically if there's a succession of griefs happening to Virginius.
The other thing that I can't get my head around is how Virginius knows what the plot is, unless he overhears Rumour.
I think that's the idea. That he doesn't exit. He remains on stage and hears Rumour.
He's got to be standing side stage when Rumour is giving his speech.
I don't think it has
that made me think it, actually.
The Rumour has got about is that all that needs to be got in. The script does not state he exits. If there's an exit there in your scripts, that's because someone has added that later. But that would make sense.
He's lurking behind the scaffold. and hears the rumours.
Mm.
Yeah, it's got to be the only way he knows it, isn't it?
Yeah, because is this thy treason found? That is this. Yeah, it seems to be that.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's heard it, and Virginia obviously knows. Nothing yet, because she comes in and goes, "What's the matter?" Well, where do we begin? I mean, it moves on. I mean, there's a bit of a sense of a bit of a lull in the middle of the plot not moving forward as pacily as perhaps we feel it should, but it does move at a fair old whack, doesn't it? I mean, it's not a long play by any stretch of the imagination.
And I still want to know who Mansipulus and Thingy are.
Generic people.
It's just because they make those lines that do make them sound like. I thought, oh, it's going to be revealed, but
yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't thematically really connect in the way that we were hoping when we said at the beginning, where they're going to thematically connect with the rest of the text.
There must be some meaning to their names.
Yeah.
I did look. Manisipulus is handful.
Yeah.
Which is the closest I could get, but yeah.
Anyway, we are well into extra time because it's quite a long play. Any just final thoughts from the room? Greg is shaking his head. Alan, any final thoughts from you?
I really enjoyed it. It moved at a fair pace. The verse form I found interesting. The use of alliteration was fun, even if it was a bit of a bugger to do on occasion. The only thought I got on the script that we've got in front of us, and it may differ from the edition you're looking at, Robert, is that there does seem to be a bit of a mix of match. In some cases, the lines are printed as one, and in other speeches, they seem to be split across two lines.
Yeah, that's how it's presented in mine, and it is odd because a lot of the times it's going from a 14-syllable line to a 14-syllable line, but it's laid out in a totally different way, and the actual verse structure is no different. So I think that's just aping the original printing. I don't know if there's a particular reason for it at all.
Because that actually made it a bit more difficult to read in some ways.
Yeah, found that with Cambyses actually.
Yeah, I think if you were doing a staged production, I think go consistent one direction or t'other.
Sascha, any final thoughts from you?
I loved that play. I think we need to look at it again. If we could put in a request to look at it in more detail, that would be lovely. I love I reiterate everything that's been said. The alliteration's amazing. The characterizations are just spot on. The comedy roles are great fun. I think essentially there's a lot that can be done with it, and whether we decide to do it modern or whether we go the full hog and pay tribute to the era it was originally done in, the whole thing behind that is that it can be done, and it'll be interesting to see it done both as a stage production and an audio production. It lends itself to it so beautifully on either of those genres. More of this, please.
Tamara, having had a repeat prescription requested there, final thoughts from you?
I'm still a little bit confused by this play. That's just one final thought. I think because of the structure. Otherwise, I quite enjoy the way that you have, that mix of the because I haven't actually been part of the readings where we did all these personifications. So I had to listen to that, but I wasn't part of those. And I actually quite enjoy that mix of real characters, named characters, and the personifications. So this is just something new for me.
Excellent. Well, if more work needs to be done, and there's a request for more work, then we will put that on the list. I think it was a pure coincidence but it slots in so well that we did Cambyses this week and this, because they are very, very similar in so many ways. I mean, this one does not go anywhere as far into the Grand Guignol that Cambyses went for, but it's still pretty grim at least one moment. And it mixes the vice characters in the same kind of way, and they do feel very much the same school. And I'd really be interested in doing some research and seeing how interconnected these could be. Because just by reading them back to back, it just stands out a mile. That there's so much overlap here. Unless there are other final, I saw shaking of heads from Helen and Greg. So
one final one.
Yes, Helen.
On the final couplet of the epilogue is almost exactly the same as the end of the epilogue of Cambyses.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're from the same
court form.
I feel like that might be just what you do, right? To
very formulaic.
Yeah,
we feel missing our men too.
Almost, yes.
That's a one to check. Actually, we do look at the epilogues in isolation. So if I start noticing patterns, that might be it. That might be it. There's just a form. That's how you close the show. Right, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for watching, all those online. If you'd like us to do more with this play, get in touch. You can become a patron on Patreon /Beyond Shakespeare, and you can contribute to the work that we do, and request us to do more work on this particular play, if that is what you're into. Otherwise, you can always follow us on Twitter at Beyond Shakes, and you can always go to our website, beyondshakespeare.org. All sorts of material connecting to this or completely unconnected to this is available, as we do look at a good 400 years of theatre history, actually much longer than that. We look at many, many, many centuries of theatre history, up to 1642. I've been your host, Robert Crighton. You've been watching these fabulous people who are now all going to say goodbye in a sort of university challenge kind of way. Goodbye!